Here I am. Portion of the show is brought to us by Culp Family Farms. Check out the Culp Family Farms meat bundles available for Christmas now at 219-869-0921. A homegrown, savory gift no one wants to return. Check out all their bundles on the Culp Family Farms Facebook page. Also, want to mention our friends over at Fozzie Cave Appliances in Rensselaer and DeMott. Right now, great deals on all kinds of Whirlpool appliances, refrigerators, stoves, ranges, all kinds of great stuff at our friends over at Fozzie Cave Appliances in Rensselaer and DeMott. Be sure to like them on Facebook. All right, speaking of Facebook, our poll question up on all of our different social medias. I think not only, Chrissy, do you and I not really aren't really understanding each other. I think there is a little bit of confusion with the poll question.
Uh-oh.
So some folks are thinking that we're talking about the idea of them having inner dialogue, like meaning the voices in their head that are talking to them.
Isn't that what we're saying? That's what I'm saying. Mine doesn't have any. It doesn't do that when I read. There's no There's no inner voice.
I think based on some of the comments,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that everyone's talking about
Okay.
the reading part. I think they're just talking about,
Oh, in
all,
general.
all the many voices that are in my head and will not get out.
Yeah.
Wait, is that just me?
Is it crowded
Yeah.
in there?
Listen, I'm not schizophrenic, and neither am I, and neither am I. So head over. So here's what we're talking about. Okay, when you read something, okay, like, and just, I don't know, just a random story here, okay? A 32-year-old man in Indiana was caught trying to hide a handgun inside his rectum. Damn near killed him. All right, so that was me reading out loud.
Yeah.
Okay? If I was to read that, like, without saying the words, if I was by myself, I would just go, damn near killed him. It would still come out loud because my jokes, they have to be out loud to me.
Right, right.
But I would have just read it. But I heard me saying it in my head. That's the inner voice that we're talking about that you hear when you read. Okay?
Yeah.
Not you, the general you.
Okay.
That according to the study, 80% of people hear this.
Yes.
When they're reading,
Okay.
they read it to themselves.
All right. Gotcha.
Okay? So, we're asking, do you have an inner voice when you're reading something? 78% of people say yes, while 22% say no. They do not. Okay? Which is
Oh.
pretty close.
That's literally the thing.
Pretty close to what the report was.
Wow.
Susan says, not only is it an inner voice, but when I read, each character has their own voice. So like if it's, I would imagine, a novel of some sort,
Yeah.
with accents and inflections and everything that may make the voice unique. Tony, my friend Tony, who used to be my friend Tony, and now you've absconded with him, says, Susan, if you put the book down for months and then come back to it, do you remember those voices? Are they new voices? Do you recast the voices? If the first voice isn't really working out, like it's a whole play?
Yeah.
And Susan says, yes, I remember the voices. Sometimes they change a bit, just like my image of someone might change as you're fed more detail. Yes.
Oh.
So that's true. When you read, you do envision someone.
That's so funny. Wow.
That's why I love when I listen to audiobooks when the actual person reads it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it throws me off when it's someone different. And I've listened to biographies and it's a different person. And I listen to it and I hear that become their voice for so long that I see them in real life and I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot. That's not what they sound like. I think they sound like the person in their book.
What if the person is no longer with us and there's a biography?
Well, then they can't
Oh,
still
then-
read it.
Well, yeah.
I'm
just
sorry.
curious. No, but it's
I
like-
have the ability to fix a lot of things. I cannot bring someone back from death to read their biography.
All right. Well, try harder, will you? Jeez.
I will work on that. So Penny says, yes, I remember their voices. Sometimes they change a bit. The book I'm currently reading has several backstories told by different characters. One character I was hearing in a gruff voice, but the dialogue suddenly had me hearing the voice in the tone or cadence of the character Wags on the TV show Billions, which I don't watch, but I get it.
Oh.
I swear the character was written with him in mind. When I read a book, I see the scene and hear the voices. It's a very full movie going on in my head. I can read a series of 11 books, and it's still the same buildings, still the same sounds, still the same voices, and ambiance.
Wow.
Very cool. Yes, I like that a lot.
I would read more if it was that vivid when I read. I'm mostly just falling asleep and reading the same page more than like 10 times and trying to figure, why don't I understand what's going on here?
Yeah, it is kind of funny though, because you and I work in a creative medium. I mean, they say radio is the theater of the mind, so we should be painting a story some days
Right.
for people.
Yeah.
But you're right. I get bored reading a book. Like I get bored. My creativity doesn't go that direction when I'm reading a book. Like
Yeah.
to develop this whole thing, it doesn't work for me in that way. I don't know why it doesn't. I would much rather listen to an audio version of a book and follow along that way.
Yeah.
Like that works for me. I guess maybe I like the idea of a break from my own creativity. Like I don't need to be creative for a
I
minute.
guess. But I don't really read fiction either.
No, that's true. I don't either.
Yeah,
You're right.
so-
I don't. I like a lot of
How-tos and biographies.
biographies, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do. Let's see. Where is the question and the question and the question? There we go. So Deb just says no. She says no. Vic says
Don't be ridiculous.
she doesn't do it in Balky's voice.
I'm not sure why Balky came out just then.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
All right. Steve and Balky in the morning. Vic says, and every character's voice is in a book is different. So he has the same thing as Susan. So he says when he's reading a book, Stacy says yes, her too. Christine says yes, I hear voices creepy. Like that. That's not what we're talking
What
about.
did they say,
That's it,
Christine?
yeah. The voices
What did the
told
voices
me
say?
to go there. Pam says yes, and it can be very active at times. Again, I think this is people hearing like voices in their head. Like I
Yeah.
get that. Roxanne says no. Yeah, I don't think. I think a few people are not understanding it the way that we mean it. Just
Yeah.
when you're reading, like
Yeah.
when you're reading, do you hear the words in your own voice, like there? You know.
Have you ever listened to an audiobook, a fiction one, like where there's dialogue?
I don't think I have.
Okay. So I do kind of like when you do listen to a fiction one, it's just the same person reading, but they do both men and male and female voices and children and older people. That gets me every time. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I have. Now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, I don't think I've ever listened to a fiction book.
Yeah, I've done a couple, but it mostly it's nonfiction.
Yeah. Usually I just wait for the movie if it's fiction. Just
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
I don't know why.
The Gone Girl audiobook was really good, actually. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, of course you like that. Yeah. Murdering husbands and killing people. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
whatever. Yeah, big shock there. Yeah. Every husband watched that movie and went, "That's why she watches all those murder shows?"
Oh,
uh-huh.
Preparation,
Yeah,
huh?
uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
No, I could never. I always say,
All right. Excuse
"What
me.
did you think you weren't gonna get away with it?" I mean, you thought you were gonna get like, come on, people always get. You're always gonna get
I
caught.
know.
Why would you even?
I know.
I don't
know.
understand.
Susie says all senses go straight to the brain. If it doesn't go to your brain, then you're not reading it or hearing it or seeing it. That's it.
Oh,
Well, yes, they do. It does go right to your brain. So when you're reading it, it goes right to your brain. But in my thoughts, like I'm seeing it, but I feel like I'm reading it or saying it in my head, which I think you are too. I think you're just not. I think we both experience the same thing. I think we're both saying it the wrong way.
okay.
for the other to understand it. Like
Okay,
I think
all
that's
right.
where we're at.
Okay.
Because I don't know how you wouldn't. It's getting to your brain somehow.
Well, the study though says 80% of people don't, or 20% don't.
But how does it get to the brain?
It just
Like
gets
with Susie.
there. It's just there. It's like I downloaded it and there it is. I read it
It's
and
not-
then it's there in my brain.
Right, but as you're reading it,
Yeah.
you have to follow along with the words somehow.
Yeah, left to right.
All right. Well, this is not what I expected this video to be about. I was going to talk about Whoopi Goldberg getting in trouble for not having gloves on when she was cooking and stuff. But
Oh,
we'll get to that in a
all
little bit. Hold on a second. So, Susie's calling, and I got to figure out how to make this work here. Just everybody, hang on a second. Everybody, slow their roll, kids. All right, I think I got it. There we go. All right, Susie. I think you're going to explain a little bit about what you're talking about.
I mean, it's possible. She could be right. Honestly.
Well, why did you assume that she was talking about you?
Oh, well, I don't know. Let's see.
All of it.
She's over this whole discussion.
Are you you're done? You're done with the whole idea of whether or not we hear inner voices or not, huh, Susie? Right, there you go.
Oh, that's true.
It
Yes.
just goes right in there and it
If-
just sticks.
If I read it or if I write it down.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Which is I like it. I like it, Susie. Thank you. Have a great day. Oh, you're very sweet. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
That was Susie's TED Talk.
Which is which goes back to, since it does get into your brain,
Uh-huh.
at the start of this, why I don't text you curse words. That's how this started, by the way,
Yes,
yesterday.
it
Yes,
did,
yes, yes. Jason says, audiobook or reading a regular book, I would be asleep before the first chapter is over. I think he means audiobook. Yeah. Yeah, audiobook I'm good with. I like listening to the audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Brian says, my brain gives the voices characters, or the character voices, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah.
gives voices to the characters. Sorry,
Mhm.
I misread that. Kim just sent us a heart, so thank you, Kim.
Hi.
And Martha says, good morning. I'm a little late this morning, LOL. Martha, I want you to know we don't punch a clock here in
Right.
Deweyville. You're just here when you're here, when you're ready.
I'm so curious. Is she late to work? Is she late for us? Or is she just late? Does she have an important date?
Hi. And this is what we were talking about with Chrissy, where she asks so many questions that it becomes personal. I don't worry
Oh,
about this.
See,
I-
look, I just did it. I
I-
do get to it. I'm invasive. I don't mean to be. I'm just curious.
Oh,
I'm never
my.
trying to be nosy. Just curious.
Yes, of course. Yes, I
Oh,
totally
man.
understand that. Yes,
I hope people don't think I'm nosy. I'm really not.
No.
and I
you're-
won't
no.
remember what you told me anyway.
Right. So there you go. So there's no point in gossiping with Chrissy. She's like the Snapchat of gossip. Like it just goes right away once you're done.